So, as many of you know, I have been speaking to kids about screen time, decreasing screen time, some of the negative effects of video games for quite a while. And I've spoken to more than, say, 80 or 90,000 kids over the last 5 years. And over the last couple years, I've started a challenge called Unplugged. And initially, it was to try and get kids away from screens. But it's kind of like detoxing with food. Right? It doesn't actually work. If you do this detox for a week, it doesn't really work so well because then you get back into your routine. And so something that I've been doing over the last year and a half has actually been challenging kids to put some limits on the screen time. And in particular, no screens in the bedroom, no screens at the dinner table, and no screens an hour before bed. So this week there was a couple big announcements that came out. The first one being that the Ontario government, the Ontario School Division School Board, so all schools in Ontario have now set screen time limits and device use within schools for both staff and students, which I think is awesome. Because the challenge is if you set it up and leave it to the teachers to make the decision, that's tens of thousands of teachers that now have to make those decisions, and every teacher is going to have a bit of a different approach, a bit of a different mindset, and then it's one more thing that teachers have to do, and teachers are already doing enough. And so when you set that limit from the very top, it takes away tons of those decisions that the teachers now don't have to worry about because they have that guideline in place saying no screen time, no cell phones, no internet usage, no laptops in a classroom unless it's educational use, so using a calculator or something like that. I think it's a fantastic move. I think we're going to see more provinces, more districts, more school boards actually adopt that. I think it makes a ton of sense, and it also allows some leniency, some flexibility when, the teacher might say, okay, let's, take out your devices, let's actually use them to do something that, technology can be used for. Technology is amazing, screen time is amazing, but I think we have gotten a bit too dependent on it, and I think we do use it a bit too much. And problem solving is super important, but I think problem solving away from screens is really the way to go. So that's exciting for me that Ontario has done that, and France actually last year had that imposed nationwide. So it's not a new thing that we've seen, but it is something that is on a pretty large scale. Ontario is the largest province in Canada, so it does have a major effect and impact on millions and millions of kids, which is pretty exciting. The other announcement is that China has actually imposed a curfew on video games for anyone younger than 18 years old. And I think this is a fantastic idea. They've set the limit for 10 p.m. until I think it's 6 a.m. or 8 a.m. in the morning, which is awesome because kids should be sleeping anyway. They shouldn't be on video games. And then they've also set a limit to 90 minutes during the weekdays and then 180 minutes on holidays and the weekends, which again I think is fantastic. If you're doing dance, if you're doing singing, if you're doing hockey, you're probably only doing that for 90 minutes during the week. And so I think to have some restrictions in place on screen time is fantastic. I'm definitely curious to see the implications and what happens. I know there's going to be a lot of talk in the media, but I really do think that not completely taking it away is a good call. Having limits in place is important, and just saying between the hours of 10 and 6 you should be sleeping if you're a kid. I think that is extremely important. And now it's on us as adults, whether you're a parent, whether you're an educator, whether you're somebody like me who speaks in schools and works with kids. I think it's important that we all work together, and really this is important for us. As adults we should be sleeping as well. For us to be up super, super late, doesn't always have the best outcome in the end. And, I was at a school today, and one of the teachers was telling me that he did a survey of his grade 5 students, and a lot of them were actually going to bed past 1 a.m., which, wow, that's not a good thing. And so I really do like some of the moves that, the people at the higher levels are making because it has such a huge trickle-down effect. So anyway, I'm pretty excited for this. I would love to hear your thoughts on the decision of Ontario restricting device use in the classroom, and then China actually setting a ban, or not a ban, a curfew on video games for certain hours a day. I think it's awesome. let me know what you think in the comments below.